Hi everyone, welcome back to Crochet Rocks. Tracy here, back to making videos after being away, and my first open with me since coming back, and it is for the latest Crochet Now. So recently I've been doing videos for another magazine. While I get into this, we'll just talk about that. And it was Crochet Made Simple, and I've been doing those since it came out, and I was subscribed and getting them done, but they've decided to discontinue it, and it was very obvious from the way it looked and everything else that it was part of Crochet Now's kind of umbrella. So sadly, the one that's no frills, was $4.99 and didn't have any gifts or anything extra, is now gone, which is a bit sad, because it was a good concept to allow people to get patterns and not pay the usual price, which on this one is $9.99 with the gifts. So let's get the address page out of it. So before I start, if you haven't already, don't forget to hit the subscribe button and the notification bell, then hopefully you'll be informed when new videos pop up. And if you could like, share and hype this video, really does help my channel, which I appreciate a lot. So let's move those over there for a minute. We have the actual magazine itself, which is not as thick as normal, I don't believe, but it's got quite a few things in. We've got a little special Granny Square Masterclass, 15 amazing patterns to make with your Granny Squares, and it's obviously been promoted by Drops. And we have this blocking board. So yeah, blocking board. I don't know how that works then. Perfect squares, triangles and hexagons every time, as long as they fit on there, of course. Now normally you get little pins, so I'm wondering if that's what you've got in here, little tiny pins, but it doesn't seem. See, I don't like to take these out. I like to give them away in my orders from my shop, hobbyrocks.co.uk. I just pop things in, because as you can imagine, I've had many blocking boards over the years, and so I don't really need any more. But I don't know what that's made of, because this is plastic, so I can't tell you if it's a really good one or not, but usually there's just lots of holes, whereas this one just has a picture of a granny square. Anyway, that's the free gift along with this, so we'll come to that at the end of this. So we'll go through the magazine first and then come back to the rest. So yeah, that's just, you know, a little annoying because it was in shot. I know, very picky of me, but there you go. So what have we got? Stash Busting Florals with Laura at Happy Berry. Colour Made Easy, Blooming Lovely Ideas. That's this. We've got exclusive competitions, Crochet Masterclasses, unmissable projects, Happy Highland Cow. Glad they told me it was a cow. Might have guessed, don't know. 5 amazing blankets. The RSPB, which is the Royal Society for the Protection of Birds. It's a tote bag. I'm only saying that because some of you guys are across the pond and don't know about that RSPB. Sweet Baby Makes. Now that is almost, maybe is identical to a Stylecraft pattern that I have in my shop when I got the Bambino yarn, and so I'm believing that that's Stylecraft. When we get there, if not, someone has really ripped off the Stylecraft, but it even looks like the same baby, so I think it's got to be. Skill Boosting Designs. What's that at the top there? A bumblebee. We're buzzing. So it's saying it's got sizes 6 to 36. Oh, I'm having a tough time with my mouth today. Okay, well, this is a tank top. Looks like it's done in a kind of either a mosaic or the other one. So we'll see when we get there. There we go. Same sort of stuff on here, but got a cushion that wasn't on the front page. We'll see the bee in close up. We've got a very busy scarf, which they might call something else. They sometimes do. Can't see it. 38. Doesn't say 38 anywhere I can see. Oh, keeping me guessing. Don't know. Wildflower wrap. There you go. That's a wrap. To me, it would be a wrap if it came down to here. That's a scarf, but never mind. We've got a plant pot, hanging plant pot, and we've got this. Now, a little while ago, I made a granny square with fleece yarn, which I thought was unusual. No one else seems to have done it before. And here we go. It always feels like shortly after I do something, they go and do it. Bizarre. Don't know. Weird. This is the Truffle yarn, and I might get that in my shop at some point. But until I've got rid of all of my last chance yarns, which are an ongoing thing, I'm not going to do it. So here we go. Bambino DK. It is an advert for Bambino. So I reckoned, right, that is a Bambino pattern. New from King Cole. What is this? Cottage spun range of DK weight yarns. This one. I've not actually had a good feel of that one yet. Follow your passion. Stuff and things. Let's move on. Show us yours. There we go. I've never ever sent anything into a magazine. Have you guys ever done that? So here we've got an advert for Stylecraft. This is Bambino Dotty. Incidentally, Bambino and Bambino Prince was one of my last chance yarns. And I know a lot have gone or very, very low, but it's ridiculously low price in my shop, hobbyrocks.co.uk. There's a link in the description box. So sometimes my last chance yarns are discontinued, but other times they're a current yarn, as you can see, and I drop them a lot lower than everyone else because I'm trying to make room in my shop. And I'm not saying they'll never return, but at the moment they're last chance yarns, so they're low until they go. That's my saying. They're low till they go, or deal and steal, if you want to call it that. So here we go. This is the Sunrise Shawl. Now, for once, they're calling it what it is, although, strictly speaking, to me it's a wrap, because a shawl is pointy to me and a wrap is rectangular. But this is a puff V-stitch, so it's obviously made with very fine yarn. Well, they've used a DK, but I don't like Yarn Smith's DK. It's the most vile yarn I've ever tried to use. So I'd choose something else. But that's Hay Barker has come up with this. Oh, there's the puff stitches. And it's one of those twisty ones. Whether you like that or not, I don't know. Bertie the Bumblebee. And there's got a chart for him as well. This is Helen Bunting. Why didn't she make bunting, I wonder? That would be cool, wouldn't it? Or just silly of me, maybe. Anyway, there we go. Grow Your Own Way. Crochet Society. Sort of gardening in a box. There we go. Starting on the adverts now. And here we are with the Stylecraft design team. So this is identical to the pattern that I do have in my shop. Although there's several things on there. So it's not just the one. Incidentally, I'm using a microphone. So I would like you guys to tell me if I'm better with it or better without it. Because I know I've got quite a booming voice, so I don't always need it. But the trouble with a microphone is sometimes your hand can cover it up. So you need to tell me with the mic, without the mic, which is best. So this is from 6 months, 0 to 6 months, up to a 4 to 5. And it's just a Granny Square cardigan, which you see from children to adults. Rowan, very expensive is Rowan, I find. Summer Swallow bag. So we've got a kind of a squares and a big square with a birdie on it by Zoe Potrack. So you might like that. For spring, we've got the swallow if you want to make it into a cushion. That's ideal, isn't it? You just up the yarn size and you can do it. So, however, this kind of bit here, maybe that's put on afterwards. You know what I mean? Maybe this line is added after, because otherwise it's going to be blank, isn't it? Anyway, let's move on. We have the Snuggle Bloom Blanket by Helen Smith, who I suspect somebody watches Crochet Rocks. I know they do, because this is a chenille, and they've just said it's chunky, but that is obvious a chenille. Yeah, it actually, yeah, it is. It's chenille. It does seem, doesn't it? Sometimes, just sometimes. How to follow a crochet chart, bits and bobs in here will tell you how to do all these things, and that's cool. So you've got charts here if you want to make these, and once you've learned. This is the Fleur Vest by Charlie Mortley, and it's an extra small up to a 5XL. So remember, those are UK sizes, and I can't tell you what they are in other countries because I've never been able to follow other people's size kind of offerings, but it's a very simple shape in the schematic. I like the way they call it a schematic, but then again, it might be simple, but then you look under the arm and you think, ooh, bit clumsy the way that's done. I prefer to round that, but it's not that hard. I don't know why they don't teach people a tad bit of shaping. Anyway, there's the charts if you want to do that. Advert for Knitting Magazine. Advert for this one. Subscribe and you're going to get this wonderful Crochet Society box with little tiny balls of yarn in it, worth £90. Do you get the mug? You probably get a mug and these bits and pieces of low cost stuff shoved in there to make it pad it out. Anyway, do I seem sceptical? If I am, there's a reason. I did subscribe to it for a little while to suss it out and see what it was like. So this is Joanne Fowler's, well, scarf, which she likes to call a wrap. But as you can see, it's very, very loose. And yeah, I'm not sure that's going to get caught on a lot of stuff. So I'm not sure about that. But it's made with modern V-stitches, I think. Or just V-stitches and posts. Yeah, odd. But, you know, I don't know about the flowers stuck on afterwards as well. You know, there are people who are going to love that. And there are people who are not. So, advert for Crochet Society. And there's a surprise. New Blooms blanket. So, we had the tank top. Now we've got the blanket. And there's the chart. Nice and easy. This is by Natasha Emerson. It's just a matter of colour changing that causes all of that. As soon as you've mastered that, you're off and running. Herby, the Highland Cow, is quite cute. Although with flowers in the hat, Herby might not be the best name. Although maybe he is a non-binary kind of cow. I don't know, but I maybe would have called it, you know, like Henrietta, the Highland Cow. But it's a cow, it's a girl. So Herby, not a good name. But, you know, bull might be like Herby. Although they do look like horns, and girls don't have the horns. See, I live in a country. We see a lot of cows and bulls. But I suppose Herby the Highland Bull might not be quite as good alliteration. Anyway, Victoria Caris needs a bit of education on anatomy of farm animals. Anyway, let's move on. Nice though, cute. Yes, very cute. Look from the rear, also cute. Crochet Society does peanuts and the like. Back ones if you want to order them. They do like to plug their own stuff, obviously. This is the Trellis Cushion. Now I like that, I do, but it's quite raised, so as a decorative cushion or leaning back on it, but you know, put your face on it, it's going to have a very interesting pattern for a while. This is Karen Hubbard. Quite nice, actually. It's mostly done with squares. The way that, you know, they're going to be joined together will produce that lattice. But that's nice. I like that. Unusual. We've got another one here that I didn't see. Or is that maybe the back? It's probably the back. Because they never do the same. I would, personally, make front and back the same, but not them. They always do, like, plain back. So again, this is the Geo Squares Throw by the Bernat team, and this one is just colours that produce this effect, but it does look quite nice when you do it. So, oh, now I like this one. This is a Granny Square. Well, I say I like this one. I did until I saw the sleeve kind of area. It looked all right on this side, but that side just sticks up. But, you know, a little bit of shaping around there would sort that out. Here's the schematic. It does make me laugh, that word. It does. It do make I laugh. This is by the Rico design team. It's called Ivy the Vest. I like the square. Anyway, what we got here? Happy Berries Stash Busters. Namely, just a little flower. And that's made with a chenille yarn. That's quite sweet. Quite purdy. I like it. But, you know, I like Laura. I've had a lot of time for Laura since I started YouTube. Not so much the other UK very well-known YouTuber. But I like Laura a lot. This is Yesabet Bueno. And she has made a quite startling sweater. That's quite nice, isn't it? And the bright and cheerful jumper inspired by the natural flow of earth and the wonder of the wildflower meadows seen from above. Well, I wonder who came up with that. Really. Anyway, it goes from an extra small up to a 6XL. So at least they've got the sizes back. A little while ago they'd got all small, hadn't they? But now they've got some sizing back, which isn't bad. That's quite a nice sweater. Wouldn't do me, but you know, that is pretty nice. Too short for a start, and looks, you know, great on a thin person. Yes, maybe. Okie doke, there we go. 3 pages of it because it's quite intricate. More adverts. And we've got the Hanging Planter by Natasha Emerson. Now I can remember doing macrame with my mum rather than making a Granny Square and the like. We did it in macrame, and yeah, I remember that very well. My mum was quite crafty, all said and done. We did knitting, we did macrame, we did all kinds of stuff. So this is Kerry's journal, Talking Toft. Met a lady on my holiday just recently who was obsessed with Toft and got loads and loads and loads of the Toft dollies. She made a very good job of them, but she couldn't crochet anything else. Couldn't even do a Granny Square. Isn't it weird that you could do something as intricate as a doll and it was perfect, but you can't make anything else? Anyway, this is the Boho Spirit in highlights. I'm going to give you a little close-up because I was so excited to learn that they'd made this because, of course, the Stylecraft Cabaret had gone. But the only one that is like it is one where the glitz is the same colour. Might be this one here. I don't know. But the same colour as the actual yarn. The rest have all got silver glitz and it really does let it down. But one of them was stunning. I might get them, but I do need to get rid of a lot of stuff out of my shop. That's why I'm doing these last chance yarns, as I said. So I've got the Firefly new and a few others, but you know, that one I will have a look into. This is Kate Koala by Femke Vindervogel. Now I like that name. Can really get I was get your mouth around that as I was reading the word nose. So I almost said get your nose around that one, which wouldn't have made sense, but you know, it kind of happened and I thought it was funny, made me laugh. Anyway, that's the koala. More adverts for local shops and stuff. Never know, they might be having me on there soon, and instead of whizzing across them, I'll be lingering. Rosina Plains, Crochet Along Part 13. It does seem that they go on a long time, but I can understand that because my own Crochet Along for the cotton picnic blanket that I did last year went on for quite some time. So if I can remember, I'll put a link to part 1 because it was a sampler and quite a nice blanket. And we talked about whether you drop stitches or gained one, how to kind of sort that out without frogging. So yeah, I'm a big fan of not frogging, really. Anyway, there you go. That's that. And we've got the standard abbreviations. And we've got next month. It's all about the sunshine, so let's hope we get some. We've got a toucan. I can actually see what that is. Unless next week it's called something else and I've got egg on my face, but it looks like a toucan. We've got Dolly. I have no idea who it is, if it's anyone in particular. We've got a very busy blanket. We've got a free crochet hook, which looks, you know, like the Crochet Society ones. Skill boosting accessories. We've got adorable amigurumi, amazing blankets, and a nice cardie. And this little, I thought that was a cat. It's a rabbit. It can't be a rabbit. It's not got rabbit ears. It's not a rabbit. It's not. It's a cat. Surely. I'm going on to the next thing. Right. So we'll. Oh, what's this? Sheepy's Twist. I can't get Sheepy's at the moment, but I will maybe look into it. Granny Square Masterclass. So I'm still doing the year of, I did the year of Granny Squares. I'm calling it motifs this time. Year of motifs, and the next one is a square. So there will be lots of squares. There will be lots of hexagons and circles and shapes in my year of motifs. So here we go. We've got a bag, which everybody makes. We've got the sweater that everybody makes. We've got a dog sweater that looks like it doesn't fit that giant dog. And we've got a poncho that looks like it could be a tad longer. And we've got a blanket. Yeah, I'm critical, I know. Oh, we've got a bucket hat. So I'll have to remember to put my bucket hat on those videos that pop in from now on. Because I must try and remember to put the summary stuff in. Yeah, just a little note to self. Okay, let's get in. Anatomy of a Granny Square. They don't have anatomies. They're not an animal or a person. Yeah. Okay, so we've got the poncho. I'd have personally carried on for a couple more rounds on that one, but never mind. Extra small, medium to large, large, extra large to 2XL. Really? So I suppose you just put extra couple of squares in. But I always think they're kind of one size fits all, really. I've never thought of them as small, medium, large and extra large and all that. But never mind, there we go, that's it. I won't talk about the yarn because it's just someone plugging the yarn. So, colourful world bag. Use a combination of your favourite shades. But why is it called a world bag? It's not really a world bag, it's just a Granny Square bag. But, there it is. Everybody's made something like that, haven't they? Blocking board, there you go. Talking about, you've got little pins and you stick them where you like. So that's it. But you've got them, it will only make, obviously, squares of this size and smaller, hexagons of this size and smaller, or triangles of this size or smaller. I've got a giant one I got for Christmas and I've actually used it. So happy about that. So this is the doggy blanket, and all you need is the schematic, which they called a layout diagram in this bit. So you can make it a little bit wider or a little bit shorter, a bit, just cut back on those sizes. If you deem this is good enough for your pooch, personally, not for me, really. I think that is a very, very, very lazy pattern. And, I don't think if dogs could choose, they'd want it, basically. I think they'd turn it up. I think they'd think it was a bit rough. Sorry, I had to do it. Rough. It's rough. It's rough. Anyway. Origins of the granny, and history. Let's get on to the patterns. Here we go. From a small to a 3XL, we've got the big Granny Square. And if you looked at my recent little masterclass video, you'll know how to taper your grannies. So if you don't want this big, wide, baggy sleeve, you can make this and then just use my methods to taper. I've got 3 on there, and you can put 2 of them together if you want. So either, as long as one is the cuff bit, the rest you can taper the other way. One looks more cumbersome than the other, but they're both established methods. So if you want to see that, I've just put that video up, right and left-handed version obviously together. If I can remember, I'll link that at the end as well, so that'll be there if you want to see it. But they're saying this is intermediate, and I don't agree with that at all. Look at this schematic. They're all box, square, box, 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 box. How can that be hard? I can't see it myself. Putting it together maybe, but really? What do they think people are? That's not hard. That's not an intermediate. I don't care what they say. Okay, kitchen whiz pot holders. And I suppose they reckon this is beginner. Let's have a look. No intermediate. Well, that one's not, is it? Maybe what they should have put beginner / intermediate. But I don't even think this is. You know, once you've mastered, we can all kind of push ourselves a little bit. Okay, there's the bucket hat. 20 million of those on YouTube. And this Granny Square blanket quilt. It's not a quilt. It's just squares. Anyway, loads of those as well. We've all done them. This one's slightly different though. This is a sunburst shawl. But you can make it into a blanket once you've made that square. You can turn it into whatever you like. But, you know, that's actually not too bad. If you like your fringing, that is. Anyway, they're calling this an intermediate as well. It is different from a normal granny square, so maybe adventurous or intermediate, yeah. So here we go. We've got some designs. Tulip stitch, which I have done. We've got the hearts one, which I have done. I haven't bothered with corner to corner because I don't like it much. Well, I like it on when other people do it. I just don't like it when I do it. Just kind of think it's scruffy. See, I don't think that looks too heart-like. It seems like there's something missing here to me. That should have been red. But I get why it's not, because on the actual thing, this looks right. But with this stitch, maybe not. I don't know. I'm not a big fan, I have to say, of C2C. I know people make some amazing stuff, looking like I've seen a really amazing Elvis and stuff. So yeah, I know that you can make incredible stuff, but it just is scruffy when I do it. What do you think of this magazine? There's lots in it that's new. There's a few things that are all sort of run-of-the-mill, tending to be in here really. But and this is a pay-for pattern that they're now giving away. It's either that or it's the free one they give me. I think it might be the free one that they gave me to, you know, if you buy Bambino yarn you get free pattern. I think it might be the free one. So if when you're in my shop and you buy yarn, because my free patterns, I've got free downloadable patterns and I have free physical patterns. This one I think is a free physical pattern. So when you buy yarn, it doesn't have to be Bambino, you just buy yarn. You can pop them in. I don't do them. Some people have tried to just get a free pattern and pay the postage, but I don't do that. It's free with any purchase. So if you want to put a couple of patterns in, you can even put 4 or 5 patterns in with a yarn order. It doesn't matter to me. As long as there's a yarn order, you can have as many of the patterns. So I'm sure that one's in my shop, hobbyrocks.co.uk, as a free pattern. So you've also got this here blocking board. What do you think of this then? Do you think it's $9.99? And I have seen sometimes when there's more than one gift they put the price up. Not saying Crochet Now, but magazines in general. It could be that they have done it, but they tend to go up to like $10.99 sometimes, a little more. So they've kept the price at $9.99. I'm a bit sad that they've chosen to get rid of Crochet Made Simple. I quite enjoyed the fact that it was only $4.99, even though there weren't the gifts, because, you know, these gifts, right, they're going to get given away by me. And I don't believe that we all want them all the time, you know. So, yeah, it was good to have a magazine that was $4.99. Plus, it meant that I get 4 magazines, and that's one a week. So it sorted me out nicely, but I'm now at a loss for a week. Oh, well. I have to find something else to get. So what do you think of this one? Do you like it? Are you sad that they're getting rid of the Crochet Made Simple? Did you like it? I must admit I thought it was pretty good with the amount of patterns that you got for free. But what do you think of this one? I think there's not too much in the actual magazine that is repetitive. Has been, you know, in any magazines before. Not so much in this though. But it's an you know, a reason to give you a crochet Granny Square blocking board to make stuff with this. So they usually go hand in hand. But yeah, it'd be interesting to read your comments. So as I said before, if you haven't already, don't forget to hit the subscribe button and the notification bell if you could like, share and hype it. So much the better. It really does help my channel. Thank you so much for watching, guys. I'll see you on the next one. Take care. Bye-bye for now.